waxing gibbous. It'll make sense in a moment. It's a moon phase. So let me set the stage for you. It's late at night. It's nearly midnight. Just turned off the interstate onto a lonely country road. It was dark. The moon was providing some light, but the areas in the trees were dark. You couldn't see far. There was some thunder in the distance. You would hear it as it shook the trees. Lightning would occasionally light the sky. As we traveled down this road, we'd be home soon. We rounded a corner near a swampy area. There was an old abandoned farmhouse back off in the woods, some tobacco barns, some tall grass. There was also a pasture nearby. As we rounded the curve, we looked up, and there, standing right on the side of the road, was a tall man dressed in all black. He stood next to a horse-drawn carriage that appeared to be a hearse, had a couple of lanterns on it, and he was standing there tending to the horse as we drove past. I was a passenger, so I looked at him out the passenger window as we drove past, all the way past. I turned my head to see as long as I could this person, and the glow of the lantern was still there. So we all looked at each other. Did you see that? We all did. We all agreed that that is exactly what we saw. Turned the car around, drove back to the swamp. The man wasn't there. The hearse wasn't there. I got out of the car with a flashlight. I walked over, looked in the creek. I'm looking all over. I'm like, did we hit this guy? Where'd this guy go? He was there. But nope, nothing to be seen. We all got back in the car, headed home. We didn't really speak of it. I've thought about it a few times since it happened. Nothing major, just the occasional thought. However, recently I found myself on that same road, driving through that same area. Several years have passed. I've got a fancy car now. It'll drive itself. It'll put on brakes when it needs to. It'll steer. All I got to do is sit behind the wheel, hold the wheel a little bit, and it'll just go on down the road. So I found myself traveling this lonely black road. It was dark again. As I rounded the curve to where I had seen the hearse and the strange man, my car sounded a collision alarm. My dash lit up red. My car veered into the other lane to avoid hitting something unseen. I was looking out the windshield. I didn't see a thing. Of course, this startled me, so I pulled the car to the side of the road, got out, looked around. There was no damage to my car. I didn't hit anything. So I turned the car around and I went back to the swampy area. I got out with a flashlight. I started looking around. Nothing. There's no sign of anything. I looked in the creek. I looked in the edge of the woods. I walked down the side of the road looking for anything that would tell me why my car had alerted that there was a collision imminent and that I was about to hit something. I wasn't seeing anything. I had walked 30 or 40 feet away from the car, Headlights were on, emergency flashers flashing. As I'm walking back with the flashlight pointed at my feet, sweeping side to side, looking at the ground, I noticed it. Wet horseshoe prints on the side of the road, leading down into the woods on an old abandoned trail that you would have missed if you didn't pay close attention. I'd walked past it twice and didn't notice it. But the wet horseshoe prints went across the paved road down into the ditch, and you could see that they had eased off into the woodline towards the old abandoned house, down a path that had long been abandoned. Gave me chill bumps. I decided to go on and get in the car, head home. I'd be home in a few minutes. When I arrived home, something was still weighing heavy on my mind. There had to be a connection between what I had experienced that night and what happened so many years ago when I was younger. It wasn't the same day of the week. It was not the same time of day. So I wasn't really drawing any conclusions or wasn't connecting the dots on anything. I decided I would look up the phases of the moon. So on the date when I was younger that it happened, the moon was waxing gibbous at about 64%. And that very night that I experienced it again, I didn't see it, but my car did. My car saw something. Do you know that the moon was waxing gibbous at around 64%? I looked at the page and I was in disbelief that there was a correlation in the phase of the moon. So if you ever find yourself around Fremont, North Carolina, around an old abandoned farmhouse near tobacco barns, a pasture, and a swampy area, pay close attention to the phase of the moon, because if it's waxing gibbous, you just may run into the Undertaker. Hey, thanks for listening. I enjoy doing these little short stories. I hope this one does it for you. This is the short version. There will be a better version, a longer version that will be published to YouTube eventually. So thank you so much. Thanks for listening. Stick around for the next one. Have a wonderful evening.